So guys, a thought came to mind while I was training. I just came back from the gym. Now, I'm standing there in the gym. I'm talking to a mate of mine. Him and I can barely hold a sentence together, right? I felt like throwing up. I was training legs. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? It's so boring. Like, I've been training since I was, let's say, 16. I'm 33 years old now. I've been training, I've been lifting weights, going to the gym since I was a teenager. Every single week. I think I've only had a maximum of 3 weeks off in a row. Maximum 3 weeks off in a row. On average, probably once a year, I might have a week to 2 weeks, roughly. But maximum 3 weeks off in a row. And it just clicked. I'm standing there, I'm dizzy, I'm about to throw up. We're having a conversation. He's slurring his words, like it's just, we're training legs. It's so boring. And the thought came to mind, like it's literally fear of missing out on muscles. FOMO of muscles. There's no other reasoning behind, like the gym now to me, right? And I'm just venting to you guys, but I'm saying it how it is. The gym now, in particular, weight training, is so boring. It's one of the most boring things that I can do now in my life. I'd rather be doing so many other things, but there's something inside my head that keeps on pushing me to go. And I realize it's a fear of missing out on muscles. Like, I don't drink alcohol, right? Very, very rarely would I drink alcohol. And last night, my wife ordered some oysters. You know, she felt like having a beer. And I like beer. I enjoy drinking beer, but I never drink it because of, I don't want alcohol consumption to affect my muscle. And it's not a bad thing, right? But I had one beer and I felt bad. And I started contemplating, you know what? Maybe, look, let me have another one. It's a nice night. You know, the kids are gone to bed. My wife and I are watching a movie. I'll have another beer. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, fear of missing out on these muscles, man. I've trained all week. You know, I felt bad after having one beer. This fear of missing out on muscles is serious. Fear of missing out on muscles. It has got to be one of the stupidest things ever. But if you're like me and you've been training for years and you're starting to, I wouldn't say hate, but it's just boring. You're going to doing the same thing, squats up and down, 3 sets of 10 to 12. Next exercise, leg press, hack squats, lying leg extensions, leg curls, whatever it is. It's bench press every single week for the last 30 years, 15 years, whatever. It's clicked, man. It is the fear of missing out on muscles. Like, if I go 1 week of not training, I feel like a mess. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever felt like you're losing muscle after having 1 week off? Having 2 weeks off? It's never going to happen. You're not going to, but there's just something within us that kind of, you kind of feel guilty, right? You feel guilty. There's a fear there. You know, you don't want to lose everything you've worked so hard for, so you just keep going. And then you end up in this cycle of, all right, I gotta go gym. Especially when you're training by yourself, a lot of the time it's boring. Right? I used to love it. I used to really enjoy training by myself. But it's come to a point now where this is just getting boring, man. It's getting boring. And look, I got my protein shake here with creatine, right? I'm trying to drink it within my anabolic window of 45 minutes to an hour because that's where I'm going to get the best results of muscle hypertrophy, right? Whilst the muscle is in that damaged state right now, feed it with protein. Yeah, that's probably true. But if I drank this in 2 hours, who cares? Oh. I'm in the gym. I feel like throwing up. My head's spinning. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, I'll go through this every single week, especially with legs. Training chest, back, whatever, you don't really feel it. Back has now become one of the most boringest things I can train. I used to love training back. But after, let's say 17 years, right? It gets a bit boring, man. And then you try to do other stuff, right? Like, you know, I've trained in Muay Thai, I've done other sports and that, but then you're worried about losing your muscle. Even like you want to go for a jog, you want to go for a bike ride, whatever it is. Oh, you know, that type of physical activity, that type of exercise has a higher chance of you losing muscle as opposed to you doing like a slower state cardio, right? Walking uphill on a treadmill, incline, heart rate has to be, you know, at 140 minimum, 140, 150, which is the perfect heart rate for fat loss. Guys, if you're stuck in this vicious cycle of fear of missing out on muscles, I don't know. I think moving forward, I don't care, man. Yeah, you can look good. You can have muscles. You can this, that. Can you run though? Can you fight? Can you jog without puffing? Huffing and puffing? I don't know. I just felt like making this random video for the sake of speaking my mind. Because it's just become outrageous now. It's silly. Alright, like, you can't be bothered going. You're going, you're forcing yourself, you're this and you're that. It's stupidity. I don't even want to go today, but I haven't trained legs for a week. I could be losing muscles, man. We can't have that. It's just become outrageous, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed whatever this was. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.